educators, we are going to prepare the future students. So before preparing our students, we also need to be prepared, isn't it? Present scenario is very uncertain. We were not ready as well as aware of this uncertainty that we are facing nowadays due to lockdown. Do you all agree? Were we prepared? No. But yes, with the support and guidance of each other, at least we can make our students ready for future. So with this very positive thought, I would like to begin today's session. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. So today we are here to prepare ourselves to make our students better human beings and ready for tomorrow. Now it's the time to sow the seed of change, the better future of our children. Now it is the time. So you can see in the slide that there is a brain and a hand. So as we all are dealing with the tender minds, we are dealing with the child's mind. Child's mind is the land where we have to sow the seed by providing them knowledge and making them capable of applying that knowledge for their bright tomorrow. We as teachers have tried our level best to provide proper knowledge to our students, isn't it? We all are doing best. I hope you all agree with me. You can interact with me and with my queries in your chat box. If you agree, you can write yes. So I hope you all agree with this. Yes, we all are doing our best, but still, don't we feel somewhere we are lacking? Don't we feel that somewhere we are lacking in providing the students proper knowledge? So if we feel so, yes, this is the time to change, because the time is uncertain. Anytime, anything can happen. So yes, we have to be prepared for anything, any type of a change. So it's the time for us to change. If not now, then never. So let's all come together for the mission to bring out the change first in us. We can change, bring change first in us and then in the students. So here I'm going to start the session with a very beautiful thought, which is provided to us by our very worthy Rashmi ma'am. So I'm going to share that thought. If an egg is broken from outside, a life comes to an end. So you can see, if an egg is broken from outside a life, life comes to an end. When that egg breaks from within, a life is born. Great things always begin from that power within. So we all have power within ourselves to change, and we also have the power to bring about change in our students too. So this was from teacher's point of view. So now if we look at the same thought from a student's point, we learn that we have to make our students independent and not dependent on us. You all must have heard the story of a butterfly where the boy made it incapable to fly by providing it assistance to come out of its shell. So today's webinar is somewhere close to this concept. We are here to prepare our students to be self-reliant. So what we have to
Excuse me,
do...
Vanna ma'am.
Yes, Suja ma'am.
Nisha ma'am, she raised her hand. Maybe she's having some query. Nisha
No, I
ma'am.
told her. I told her to write in the chat box only. Fine.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir. Thank you.
Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we were discussing about the change we have to bring. So as per the CBSE guidelines, okay, we have got the CBSE has given us some guidelines. So CBSE has decided to implement a competency-based education system for development of practical and life skills among students, rather than just depending upon textbook based education. So I hope from this slide you must be clear about today's topic, competency based education. uh, Competency, this is a CBSE guideline and we have to follow it. And what is the reason? You very well know that nowadays we are dealing with the virtual classes where we are unable to evaluate our students. So competency based education becomes a necessity. So why there is a need for this competency based education? Let's ponder upon this. Let's think about it. Are we in our schools teaching our children to handle themselves and their lives well, or are we simply teaching to test? Let's take a minute and think on this. Let's think about this. Yes, it's not only one, you or me, we all are doing the same thing. We all are preparing a student just for the examination. We are not preparing them for their life. I hope you all agree with us, with me. So what is competency-based education? Competency is a set of skills, abilities, knowledge that helps an individual perform a given task in real life. So from this, I think competency-based education is quite clear. It is a set of skills. I've highlighted those words which are very important for us to understand. It is a set of skills, abilities, knowledge that helps an individual here means a student, perform a given task in real life. So we expect that whatever knowledge we provide to a student, they must be able to use that knowledge in their real life. Every learning should go into the imbibing of skills that will help the individual perform tasks or take action to lead a productive and joyful life. Competency based learning or competency based education is an outcome based. So here outcome is highlighted because this is very much important. We must know that competency based education is based on outcome means the result. Here we are focused on the result. So we all are basically worried about result, but not the result of exam, but the result that we expect from our children to exhibit in their real life. So is an outcome based approach to education to ensure proficiency. We have to make our students proficient in learning by students through demonstration of knowledge, skill, values, and attitude required for dealing with the real life situations at their different age groups and levels. So I hope the competency based education is clear here. So here I would just like to ask you all, and you can share your answers with me through chat box. We all are language teachers. So being the language teachers, what do you expect that are the basic competency based skills that we expect from our students? What are the skills that our students as a language teachers we expect from them? Suja ma'am, you can please share.
Dear teachers, kindly reply. You can write it in the
I'm
chat
waiting
box.
for their response. I want their response that what kind of skills they expect as an English teacher, as a language teacher. What we want from a child to be perfect in after any concept or any, just as a language teacher only. What we expect from them. Are we getting some answers?
Yes, ma'am. One is vocal to feelings.
Okay.
And the other one is the basic skills like reading, writing, and listening.
Yes, very good. Excellent.
And one more, listening, reading, writing, speaking to use in life,
Very good.
speaking fluently,
Yes, very
reading and
nice.
writing skills.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, teachers who have participated and those who have given me the answer. Yes, you all are absolutely correct. We all know that these are the basic requirement, basic skills that we expect from all students as a language teacher. So, competency-based education in language teaching, CBE, competency-based education is designed not around the notion of subject knowledge, but around the notion of competency. The focus moves from student know, right, The focus moves from the what the student knows about language to what they can do. So this is what you all have written, that you want that your students should be capable to speak, your students should be capable of writing, reading, and all those basic skills of English language. CBLT requires learners to demonstrate that they can use the language to communicate effectively. Exactly. Being a language teacher, what we expect is that our students, whatever we teach them, whether it is listening, reading, writing, speaking, vocabulary, grammar, whatever else, we expect that the students should be able to communicate when they go in their society, when they move in the society, or whatever they, wherever places they reach. So this is our the most important goal of a language teacher. So this is what
Vanda
this,
ma'am,
yes ma'am.
one more response I've got, that is confidence.
Okay, confidence is okay. That is
Yes.
the overall, you can say, the goal of education, right? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your very valuable suggestion. Thank you. Yes, naturally, when the student will be able to communicate effectively, when he will be able to communicate his views and opinions, he will become confident. Yes, very right said, ma'am. So, from here, I hope you are clear about the competency-based education, what it means in language or in any other subject. So, what we expect is what we want our students should be able to, or they should acquire that particular skill or ability or proficiency. So as I said earlier that CBE is an outcome based. In my previous slide, I have highlighted outcome based, right? So focus is on the result of learning. So whatever we teach in the class, we have to focus on the result. So before teaching, we need to set some learning outcomes. I very well know you all are aware of this terminology, learning outcomes, as you all must be using this and framing these learning outcomes in your lesson plans. But honestly, ask yourself, how much do we take these learning outcomes into consideration while teaching or after teaching? Let's once again ponder upon this, think about it, how much we consider these learning outcomes while teaching or after teaching. Do we consider? In some schools, they share that they used to write the learning outcomes on the blackboard, or they tell the students, but it is just, you can say, a formality. So this workshop is basically focusing on learning outcomes. So we will discuss about learning outcome, because learning outcomes, they are result oriented. So we need to think about that, how to make the learning outcomes, how these learning outcomes are very much beneficial for us to inculcate this CBE in our teaching of English or any subject. So first of all, we'll discuss about learning outcomes. What are learning outcomes? Before that, I would just like to share this thing, my learning outcomes of this webinar with you all. So as we all are teachers, you are also teacher, I am also teacher, but with the grace of God, or by chance, or with the blessings of my seniors, my head, I am here and I am playing the role of a teacher and you are my student. So it is just a chance, but I have prepared some learning outcomes for this webinar. So after the session, I expect that the participants will be able to implement CBE in the teaching of English language. So this is my learning outcome. This is what I expect from you all. So you will be able to frame correct learning outcomes, select right pedagogy for the particular concept of their own, means your own class, frame and reframe assessment based on or as per learning outcome. Why I have used frame and reframe, that we will talk when I will discuss about assessment. So you have to keep all these learning outcomes in your mind. Similarly, as I've said, some schools, they are telling the learning outcomes of that particular topic beforehand to the students before starting teaching. So that's a very good exercise. Yes, but we have to take into consideration also later on. We have to check whether all learning outcomes have been achieved or not, have been fulfilled or not. So I'm going to test this. So that's why I'm going to tell you that, dear teachers, after this session, you are also going to prepare the learning outcomes, pedagogy, and assessment of any of your chapter, and you have to send it back to me, and the best one will be sent to Rashmi ma'am. So this is an order, or you can say a suggestion by Rashmi ma'am, so that I can assess my teaching also, as we have to assess or teaching in the classroom. So I hope this thing is clear to everyone. So with this, I hope that my students, they are going to be very attentive, because they are going to be assessed later on, right? So
Yes, ma'am. Vandana ma'am, one more I got from one of the participants, and it is first learning outcome should be to understand the concept of CBE.
okay. Yes, CBE. Okay. And when you will understand, then only you will be able to implement, right? So when you are able to implement, you will be able to understand. But later on, I'll discuss about this, why I have not used here understand. Okay, because understand is a very vague concept. We cannot assess, we cannot measure it. That's why I have used implement, right? So what is learning outcome? Learning outcome is a description of a performance you want learners to be able to exhibit. So we very well know what is learning outcome. So you want that your learners to be able to exhibit before you what you expect from your learners, and consider them competent. It describes result of instruction rather than the process of instruction itself, right? So learning outcome help us to know that what we want from our students to exhibit. Like earlier we used to use this terminology, learning objective. So what is the difference between learning objective and learning outcome? Learning objective and learning outcome, they are almost similar. Very thin line is in between them. So learning objective is from the teacher's point of view. Teacher frames a learning objective, that what is her objective to teach the lesson. But learning outcome is child focused. It is focused on the child, what the child will be able to exhibit after that particular concept. So that's why learning outcome is the most important point, is the most important part of CBE, right? So what is the relation? So what is the relation between competency-based education and learning outcome? So here I have highlighted learning outcome, curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. As I told you, learning outcome is a very important part. What is it that the student should be able to do after student has undergone the learning process? That is very clear. Then curriculum. Curriculum, if we talk about curriculum, till 7th class, curriculum is in our hand, but after that, DAV or CBSE decides the curriculum. So we can frame the curriculum basis on the basis of our learning outcome. What we expect, what we want our children should be able to do in that particular class. So we can frame our curriculum based on that. So we are not going to discuss much about the curriculum. We are going to discuss here about learning outcome, pedagogy, and assessment. What are the classroom transactions, activities that will become the basis for this kind of defined outcome of learning? So that is pedagogy. We'll discuss about this pedagogy in detail, and how will the teacher check the learning, or how will the student demonstrate that learning assessment. So learning outcome, pedagogy, and assessment, they all three makes the competency based education. So when they all are interlinked, only then we are able to provide competency based education to the students. So we have to work on learning outcomes, pedagogy, and assessment. So now we are going to, I'm going to tell you that how we have to frame the learning outcomes. So what are the good LOs? LOs is the short form of learning outcomes. So LOs should be SMART. They should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. So that's why I have not used understand word, because it's very difficult to measure the understand word, right? So that's why I have not used understand word in my learning outcome. So you just keep in mind all these 5 points while framing learning outcomes, that they should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and they should be time bound. We should not wait for the assessment of that particular learning objective for 1 year or 2 year. We can't wait for that. We need the result of that within a fixed period of time. Now, how to write LO? Start with a stem sentence. Student will be able to. Earlier it was teacher will enable the student. That is the traditional method. Teacher will enable the student was used. Why it was used and why it has changed? Earlier the teacher was the at the stage, right? She was the active person. But now we want that the student should become active, and teacher should become a facilitator. So when we say teacher will enable, means the teacher is trying to make the student able to do something. So there the teacher becomes very much active. But what we want in CBE, we want that the student will be able to. Student, by performing different activities, by performing different tasks, he will be able to qualify that particular skill. He will be able to acquire that particular skill on his own by, yes, teacher will be acting as a facilitator. Then select a verb from the helpful 100 for performing the task. The verbs you will be getting here, I will be giving you the slide where you will be getting the verbs based on Bloom's taxonomy, and then determine if the verb chosen best describes the type of behavior the learner needs to display after the lesson. You have to check, you have to determine that whether the verb that you have chosen is best describing the behavior that you expect the learner to display, right? Then the next is, under what conditions must the task be performed? What are the conditions that the child is going to perform that task? So now I'm going to tell you the, like in maths we give the formula. Here is the formula, thumb rule to write LOs. First of all, select an action verb plus object of the verb plus condition if there is any. For example, student will be able to. This is a stem sentence. Then identify, this is the verb that I have chosen from the Bloom's taxonomy. Then literary devices. This is an object on what the students they are performing, and the condition is from the given stanza. The stanza will be given, and from that particular stanza, the students are going to identify the literary device. I hope this is clear. This format will help you to create your own LOs efficiently. So here is the list of verbs based on Bloom's taxonomy. We all have done this Bloom's taxonomy in our B.Ed also, right? There are 6 levels in Bloom's taxonomy, that is knowledge, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. So if you want to test the knowledge of the child, you can choose the verb based on this knowledge. Understand, you can select any verb from this. Apply, then you can select this, right? So these are the verbs. Now, little bit we'll discuss about Bloom's taxonomy, because we already have learned about this Bloom's taxonomy so many times. So I'll just brush up about this Bloom's taxonomy, as there are 6 levels: remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. You can see that the remember part, though we say that remember part is at the lowest level, but it is the most important part. Once the student, that's why this remember part is having the greater circumference, right? It is the bigger one, then understanding the lesser one, then the apply the more lesser one. So remember is the base. If the student is able to remember, only then the child will be able to understand the facts. And once the child is able to understand, he will be able to apply that fact in the in performing that particular task. And then once these three levels are fulfilled, only then the child will be able to reach the higher order thinking skill, that is the analyze, evaluate and create. So first we have to focus on the basic levels, that is remember, understand and apply. Yes, we focus on remember, but most of the times or assessment or LOs, they are based on remember or understanding only. We don't reach up to the level of apply, and very rare we reach up to the level of analyze and evaluate. And this is the reason why our students, when they face the molded questions in the exam, they are unable to answer. So our concern here is not the question paper, but our concern here is that we need to make the child use that knowledge in the real life, right? So create is the higher thinking order. So once the child is able to apply, he will be able to analyze, he will be able to break down the information into components, parts, and will be analyzing the knowledge. Then evaluate, he will be able to judge that where and how that knowledge that he has gained is going to be used, right? And then create, he will be able to create something new. So here it is very clear that the last three, the remembering, understanding and applying, they are the low order thinking skill, and the analyzing, evaluating and creating are the higher order thinking skill. So yes, we have to basically work on remembering, understanding and applying, and very rarely or wherever you feel that is you are the master of your place or your master of your concept, you know that at what level the student can reach, right? So if you think that the student can reach up to the creating level, you can take that student. That all depends upon you. So next is, here we come to the end with LOs. This is all about learning outcomes. Now I'll talk about pedagogy. What is pedagogy? Means to support students' ability to become an independent, self-reliant and lifelong learner, right? Pedagogy by using variety of interactive methods. So here, if you will say that why I have not used the word methodology, methodology and pedagogy literally they means the same. But here why we have used pedagogy is, like if we are explaining something to the child, right? When we are explaining the poem or the chapter or the meanings or whatever, that is a methodology, that is a traditional way of methodology. But here we are concerned about the pedagogy where the teacher makes the teaching learning process very much interactive, activity based. It should be child centric and focuses on an individual achievement, right? So this is the difference between pedagogy and methodology. Yes, we have to follow that traditional method, we have to explain everything in the class, we have to use the lecture method also somewhere, but side by side we have to use the interactive methods also. Only then the purpose of CBE will be fulfilled, only then we will be able to make the link between our pedagogy as well as the learning outcomes. So here are few of the activities which I have written, interdisciplinary instructions, including scholastic as well as post-scholastic areas such as arts, storytelling, sports, etc. Collaborative learning, discussions, cooperative learning, peer tutoring, reciprocal teaching, student become teacher in small group reading session, blended learning with integration of ICT, flipped classrooms like, and experiential learning, problem-based learning, games, case studies, projects. And I know we all are doing it, but yes, we have to be more particular about this, that we have to inculcate these activities in our pedagogy. So next part is the assessment. A process of documenting in measurable terms knowledge, skills, attitudes, and beliefs. We all very well know what is assessment. In CBE, assessment has to be criterion reference that measures the attainment of learning outcomes. So here it is very important that our learning outcomes should link with the assessment. If we are not able to link our learning outcome with the assessment, that means our learning outcomes are not measurable or reliable. So this is a very important part. Here only we teachers commit the mistake. So the learning outcome should have a direct connection with assessment. But there is some confusion regarding assessment and evaluation also. May I know what is the difference between assessment and evaluation? Anyone who can express the difference? Anyone who can tell the difference between evaluation and assessment?
Dear teachers, kindly write it in the chat box.
They must be writing.
Evaluation is more specific. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone who can write the difference? Evaluation and assessment.
Yes, Uja ma'am. Are we getting some answers?
Yes, ma'am. I just got one only.
Okay. Chalo, we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
move on.
I'd got one more. Evaluation means to check what they have learned.
Okay, very well said. Very well said.
Evaluation is formal, while assessment can be informal as well.
Very nice, very nice. Excellent, ma'am. Excellent. Excellent answers.
And
So,
assessment is a continuous process. And now
yes,
I'm getting see the
very well,
replies.
very well. Yes, this is what we need to understand. Assessment and evaluation. Assessment is ongoing to improve learning, right? It's an ongoing process, as the ma'am has said. And evaluation is the final to gauge quality. Means the final test, the final exam that we take. That is the evaluation. Then it is assessment is process oriented, how learning is going on, and the evaluation is product oriented, what has been learned, as ma'am has said, what the student has learned. Yes, assessment is diagnostic, identify area for improvement. In assessment we have the scope for improvement, but in evaluation we just give the score or grade to the student, and that's all. Assessment is flexible, as ma'am has said. The evaluation is specific, that's also very correct. Assessment is flexible, adjust as problems are clarified. So we have the scope to clarify their problems, but in evaluation that is fixed. The same kind of reward will be given to all types of students, whether the child is of higher order or lower order. The same kind of punishment and reward will be provided to that child. Assessment is cooperative. The students, they learn from each other during assessment, but in evaluation they compete with each other, they beat with each other, right? So as we are dealing with virtual classes, we are teaching the students virtual classes. So here we are unable to evaluate because we are not able to take proper test or exam, right? So here assessment is very important. So that's why CBE is very important here. So if our LOs and assessment, they are linked, only then we will be able to fulfill the requirements of CBE. So when we are taking the test, sometimes we feel that in the online classes, when we take the test or when we assess the students, when we through Google form or anything else, we feel that the student might be taking help from the internet or whatever else. So what? Our purpose is that the student should learn something. So all purpose is fulfilled. So that's why assessment is the best tool, where we have the scope for the improvement. We can improve the student. So that's why in my LOs, I have written it is frame and reframes. My participants will be able to frame. First, you will be able to frame the assessment, and then if you feel that this child is not able to give the appropriate answer or is not able to fulfill the criteria of that assessment, then you have to reframe the assessment. That's why that was the point there. So this was about assessment. So now here I have prepared one model learning outcomes for you as an example. Model learning outcomes. So I have chosen the topic Children's Song from class 8. It's a poem. So those people, those teachers, those participants who have done, they know very well this poem. But for those who don't know about this poem, I'm just giving a short summary for them. So this poem is a highly emotional and patriotic poem that is sung by the children of the country. They are grateful to their motherland for all good things that she has done for them. They also promise to love her and serve her when they grow up. Children pray to God to teach them to be careful, truthful in youth, take responsibility, make useful sacrifice, take joy in simple things, help the man in distress, and at last serve the motherland with great dedication and devotion. So here is the learning outcome. So I have used the stem line, stem sentence, student will be able to, right? Then there are seven learning outcomes based on the Bloom's taxonomy, and I have highlighted the verbs which I have chosen from that handout. Memorize and respond the poem in the form of a song, right? So what I want here is that student, they should memorize the whole poem and they should respond, they should reproduce, because what is the purpose of teaching a poem? That they should enjoy it, they should enjoy the rhythm and the aesthetic sense of that poem, right? So what learning outcome I have, what pedagogy I have connected the learning outcome with the pedagogy as well as with the assessment. So what is my pedagogy? Though I will be telling them, I will be explaining the what you say, paragraph wise, I will be explaining the poem. But other than that, what will be my strategy? In the beginning, students will be shown video of the poem in the form of a song, and students will sing it to memorize, understand, and enjoy the rhythm of the poem. So I'm having the video, but if we will be having the time, then I will show it to you. Then the second is explain meaning of new words from the poem. So for this, what we will play a game. I want that this pedagogy will be adopted by me, that students will unscramble the words and search the meaning of that word which will be hidden anywhere in the classroom. So they, while playing the game, they will be learning and they will be able to understand the meanings, and they will be able to explain the meanings of those words that will be coming in the poem. Then summarize the poem by filling the given gaps. For this, what I am going to do is flipped classroom. I will use this technique. Students will be sent a PPT having a brief description about the poem and the poet, right? Students will watch the PPT and come back with their questions. So here the teacher will act as a student, and the student will be asking questions to the teacher, and teacher will be giving the answers. So they will be watching the PPT, and based on that PPT, they will be having coming back to their classrooms with their questions. After teacher's explanation of the poem and clearing doubts, this is the traditional method which we will be doing, and then students will write a short summary of the poem using 80 to 100 words. So 80 to 100 words, I have given a rubric that their word limit should be limited. Here I can give them one more rubric, that they should use the new words that they have learned, then it will be more specified. Then next is identify literary devices from the given stanza. So for that, what activity I have chosen is that they will be tongue twister. As you know that in this poem there is alliteration, so student will be asked to write, speak few tongue twisters that they know. They can use any language, because our purpose is that they should understand what is alliteration. So in any language, Hindi, Punjabi or English, they can use. So with the help of this tongue twisters, they will be able to understand the alliteration, and then they will be identifying from the poem. Then discover duties and responsibilities of a citizen towards motherland. So for this, what activity I have chosen is that student will be shown video of a short story titled Love for Country. So in this story, the students will be able to see that how a child loves his country and the child is ready to sacrifice his life for the sake of the country. So first of all, the video will be shown to give them this essence for the feeling of patriotism, and students will discuss duties and responsibilities. Discussion will be done and required to become a good citizen, and then they will be writing a pledge. Student will draw okay, this is based on the next learning outcome. My next learning outcome is select the virtues from the poem children must possess to serve their nation. So the teachers, those who have already taught this, they must be knowing that this activity is already there in the book after the poem. That student will draw a table and write in column A virtues, qualities that the children pray to God to bless them with, and in column B how these virtue qualities will help them in serving their nation. So that is a very good activity through which the students will be able to learn the virtues and qualities that are required to serve the nation. And the last one is compose a short poem using literary device. This is for the higher thinking order skill. So every child will not be able to do this. So for that's why I have written this is for hot. But yes, again, here the teacher has to first give an example. Teacher will compose a 4-line poem using the literary device and the rhyming scheme. First, teacher will give an example of this, and then later students will compose their own poem of 4 or more lines on the theme patriotism or love for country. Students will be instructed to use at least 2 new words they have learned in the poem, use any one literary device and rhyme scheme AABB, right? So this I have given them the rubrics. I have particularized them, specific rubrics I have given them, that they have to use one literary device because they have learned one literary device, and two new words and the same rhyming scheme. So they will be. So this was my pedagogy. If you have something, some more activities that can be used, so you can share with through the chat box. Yes, teachers. What other activities can be done? Because this is a platform where we can learn from each other. This is what I have prepared. Now you can share your activities. Or the ways or the processes or the pedagogy that you also use to make the concept clear to the students. Yes, Uja ma'am, are we getting the replies?
Dear teachers, kindly share your activities also. It is a common platform where we can learn and share. And we believe that sharing itself is learning.
Exactly.
So kindly come up with the activities.
Or I should hope that I have covered almost all. But there is always scope to learn. So that's why I just wish. Yes, Uja ma'am.
Any of the activities, dear teachers, with any of the chapters.
So that means I think I have covered almost all.
Yes, yes, ma'am. I got. They may be asked to draw. Okay, they may be asked to draw a few things while listening the poem.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Very good. Excellent.
Yes.
Listening activity. This can be a listening activity. Very good. Excellent.
Okay, the other one is students can be asked to search about the poet a bit so that their interest in the poem can be enhanced.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yes. When we are discussing about the poet, it is very important that students should also search more things. Yes.
Okay, to draw a picture where they can show their contribution
So
towards the nation.
On?
It's related with this poem.
Yes, Urja ma'am.
Okay. Yes, I'm repeating. It's to draw a picture where they can show their contribution towards the nation.
Yes, exactly. This is art integration. Very good. Excellent. Art integration.
Okay.
So this
The other
composing the poem is also a part of art integration. And this can also be done there. Yes, this can enhance the imagination of the child.
Okay, the other one is students can be asked to record their recitation of the poem.
Yes, very good. Very good. Excellent.
Okay, we can ask the students
So
again with this poem only. The
students are very interactive. Great.
Yeah, exactly. The students can ask to write or speak about their duties towards their nation.
Yes, that I think I have added, na?
Yep. Okay. Group discussion to discover what all they can do on to serve their country, to serve their nation. It's a group
Yes.
discussions. Your
Yes,
speaking skill will be enhancing.
Yes, group discussion also I have added.
Yes,
And
and
yeah,
even
that's great.
role plays can also take place.
Okay. Yes. Okay, now I hope because of students, they are very much interactive. So I think they are my learning outcomes, they are achieved. So now I would like to test them, right? So teachers, now you should be ready with your pen and notebook if you have. So please be ready with your pen and paper, because you are going to do one activity. Read the question and associate them with suitable learning outcomes. So as I have prepared the learning outcome of the same poem, so I have prepared assessment also. Now what is your work is that you have to read the questions and associate them with suitable learning outcomes. You have to see that which learning outcome is linked, associated with that particular question. Whether we have or all learning outcomes, are they measurable or not? Have we measured, have we tested all the learning outcomes or not, right? So are you all ready? So here I'm going to share the assessment one by one. I'm going to share it. And before that, once again, I will repeat the learning outcomes so that you can, I'll keep on sharing this slide of learning outcomes with you as I'll show you the questions so that you can write. You just have to write question 1. In total, there are question 11. So first of all, you just write on a piece of paper question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 and 11. And then you just have to write this. Question 1 is based on LO1, or question 2 is based on LO2, question 3 is based on LO6. This is what you have to do, right? I hope the things are clear to everyone. Shall we start the activity? So here is the first and second.
Can I take a minute? I'm Dr. Rashmi Vich. I want to add on here something. I need to clarify that we have to ensure that our learning outcomes have been met. And that is why I really appreciate that you are asking them to check which assessment is measuring which learning outcome. But please clarify it is being done because the teacher has to ensure that a learning outcome has been met, right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon,
yeah.
ma'am.
Please explain why they have to do it, because all the learning outcomes, the teacher will come to know that the student has achieved those learning outcomes only if there is a proper assessment, right? And so we are trying to ensure that we have at least 1 or 2 questions which are measuring each of the learning outcomes, so that if they are able to do it, the teacher knows that the learning outcome has been achieved, right? So
okay, ma'am. Shall I do it for the 1 or 2 questions and then rest?
No, you are doing it. What you are doing is right. I said, please link it. Why we are doing it? Only thing that is what I do.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Otherwise, it's a very good activity. Carry on.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So why we need to, as ma'am has said, that why we need to link LOs with the assessment. As I said that only then we will be able to, like when as ma'am has worked a lot on us, we have sent our LOs to ma'am, and she sent it back with her observation. She very deeply scrutinized the LOs, and then we were confused that what is the problem in our LOs. But later on, when I linked my LOs with the assessment, then I realized that yes, that is why this my LO is not measurable. Like I'll just give an example of my this one LO summarize, right? So ma'am, what ma'am, according to ma'am, that how it will be measurable. So how will you come to know? And why it was this? Because I have not measured it in my assessment. So that was the reason. So when once I added one question related to that, and when I assessed the student based on this LO, then my LO was fulfilling the requirement. So this is what ma'am is saying, that why we need to connect the LO with the assessment. So I hope you all are ready. Okay, now this is the first question. You can read the question. Take a minute, read the question. I'll again move back to show you that, to see that which LO this question number 1 and 2 are linked with. I hope all of you are done with the question number 1 and 2. Then we'll move on to question number.
Excuse me, Vandana ma'am.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
they please, it will be better if we ask them to write in the chat box.
Okay, first let them do
The
it
answers.
for all the questions,
Okay.
and then we'll discuss.
Okay, fine.
They can write in the chat box also, and at a stretch, after doing all the for all the questions, they can send it.
As we are running out of time, so that's why
Yes,
I
ma'am.
asked.
Yes, ma'am. So I hope third and fourth question are also done. Then is 5, 6, and 7. Read the questions. Question number 8.
Ma'am, kindly show the questions again.
5, 6, and 7.
5, 6, 7. Yes.
Okay. Seventh one is a bit longer one, that's why. Once again, I'll come to the LO. Question number 8. Read the extract and identify the trade device. Only one last question is left. Total are 11. So here I have written the rubrics. 1 literary device, 2 new words from the poem, and rhyme scheme AABB. So where else is required, you can mention the rubrics also to make it more clarified. Now the last one is this one. Read the question.
Okay, let me read for them. The youth play a vital role in the constructive process of building social, economic prosperity and political stability in a nation. Do you think the youth of high moral can lead nation towards great progress? Illustrate.
So this question is based on which LO? That is what you have to write. I hope
Your
all of you are
participants,
done.
you can use the chat box for your answers so that it
Yes.
can be discussed.
Okay, now let's discuss question number 1. Which LO is related with question number 1?
Very quickly write down your answers.
Just write the number. Number 2, number 3, number 4, that's all.
I'd got number 2.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely correct. Okay, now next is question number 2. For question number 2, which LO is associated with question number 2?
Okay, ma'am. If anyone wants to speak, you people can raise your hand. Then we will unmute you.
Ma'am, any response for question number 2?
For question number 2, it's 1.
Yes, very well, very well. Then question number 3.
Question number 3 is 3.
Yes, absolutely correct. For question number 4.
4 is 4.
No.
Okay, many of them responded for 2.
Yes, 2 is the correct, because here the child just have to give the meaning. Okay, write the correct option. The child just has to give the meaning of this word mimic. This is based on LO 2. Question number 5.
6.
5 and 6. No.
It's 5. For question number 5, it's 5.
No.
I'm getting the response. Okay, it's not 5.
Question number 5 and 6 again based on 3. Summarize. When the student will write the answer of this question, we'll come to know that student is able to summarize or is able to explain what is there in the poem, right? Then question number 7.
1.
1. Question number 7.
Yep.
For question number 7 is LO 6. LO 6. Virtues from the poem. The child has to select the virtues from the poem.
Ma'am, kindly show LO once again.
Select the virtues from the poem. Children must possess to serve their nation. So they have to select the words, the terminology, whatever they have learned from the poem, those virtues they have to mention in that question. So that's why question number 6 is based on 6.
Okay, Vandana ma'am, can you please tell the answers because we are running out of time.
Okay, so here are the answers. Please check your answers. Question number 7, 6. Question number 8 is based on 4. Question number 9 is based on 5. And question number 10 on 7. And question number 11 based on question number LO 6. Right? So my last slide is that the checklist while framing learning outcomes. Here I just want to add that this checklist I have prepared based on the observations that respected ma'am has given us just day before, that what things we have to keep in mind before framing the these LOs, that we have to use the STEM word. What mistakes that we as a teacher create is that we use the STEM word, student will be able to again and again. So no, we just have to use it in the beginning, student will be able to, and then in number 1, 2, 3 we don't have to repeat it again and again, right? Then linking of LOs with assessment, as we have just done the activity, that we have to link all the LOs with the assessment. Only then they will be termed as measurable. Only then they will be seem to be smart. So using MCQ, yes, ma'am said ki yes, as I have used only 2 MCQs. Yes, MCQs is a very good way to assess the students, but we should not assess with the help of MCQ only single LO, right? So if you want to assess the student with the help of MCQ, you have to make so many MCQs, because one MCQ the child can just make a guess there. So you have to don't associate one LO and one MCQ for that particular LO. So making LOs measurable or specific, that is when we will link the assessment and the LOs, they will become specific and measurable. Rubrics, as I said, as I showed you, that success criteria or specific LOs, and not for all, we can provide where we feel that rubrics can be given, as I have given in one question only, we can provide the rubrics there, and not necessary to frame LO. So what we were doing in the beginning, that we were trying to frame the LOs for all the 6 levels. So it is not important that we have to frame LOs for all the levels of Bloom's taxonomy. It depends upon us that what we expect from the learner to exhibit after that chapter. Based on that, we have to frame the LOs and the levels of the Bloom's taxonomy, right? So this was all from my side. So I hope my students, I hope I have justified and I have proved my teacher proud on me by teaching all my students. I don't know what is the ma'am's review. So thank you very much. Thank you to all of you. Now, if there is any question, you can ask. Over to Uja,
Thank
ma'am.
you, Vanda ma'am. Thank you so much. Dear teachers, before leaving it, a link has been shared. Kindly fill the feedback form. Click on the link and kindly share it. Ma'am Shivani ma'am is having one query. She has raised her hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Shivani ma'am, you can unmute yourself.
Yes,
No,
Shivani.
it was just, yes, ma'am. It was just by mistake. I just wanted to say thank you to her. It was quite informative. Thank you
Ma'am,
so much, Vandana ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I hope the session was very informative and all our queries are resolved. Vanda ma'am has already very well told us the right way of framing LOs, and she has also elaborated how to write LOs, its relevance, pedagogy, and assessment. And I hope we all will be using it in our lesson plans. So, on the behalf of DAV fraternity, I pay my heartfelt gratitude to respected Rashmi Vij ma'am, who is always eager to enlighten us with her wisdom and shape our personality. I would also like to pay my gratitude to DAV CAE, who has given us a virtual platform so that we can learn. As it is rightly said, learning is a lifelong process. Thank you all. But before leaving this platform, kindly fill the feedback form.
And
The
ma'am,
link
one
has
more
been
thing.
shared.
I'm sharing my email. So all of you, all the teachers, they are going to send their LOs, pedagogy, and assessment, as I have shown you in that email. Best one, I'm going to send it to Rashmi ma'am, and that depends upon Rashmi ma'am how they are going to applaud you all.
Yeah,
So,
thank you, Vandana. You have done a very good job.
thank you,
Congratulations.
ma'am. Thank
I've
you, ma'am.
been listening all this while and I was happy that it is well executed. So all of you select your, as a class you are teaching, you select your chapter on your own, but like the LOs and the pedagogy and the assessment, link the assessment and pedagogy both to the LO. So, frame a good lesson plan, send it to Vandana, and then Vandana will go through them. And as she said, she'll shortlist and send the good ones to us, so that further you people can also be given the chance of becoming the resource persons in future. So I hope the whole concept is clear. And somebody had mentioned in the chat box that how can we understand how to implement without understanding the concept. So the whole information about CBE and learning outcomes, pedagogy, assessments are available on the net. You be your self-learner and try to understand as much as you can by going through this. Don't only rely on this, that somebody has to give you everything ready-made. So this is just initiating your thought process. Once it is initiated, now we expect that you will take charge of your own learning and know as much as you can about CBE and about learning outcomes and outcome-based learning. So as you know, as Vandana told you, that this is going to be the system, but it is specifically relevant during the lockdown, when it is difficult to assess the students and there is a dire need to make children independent learners. So when they check their own learning outcome, as we have said, that you check whether you have learned it or not, so you go and check that what are the concepts or terms I have understood and which ones I have not. Go through the learning outcomes of this particular workshop, and then check which all have been met by you. That have you understood what is the pedagogy? Have you understood how to go about the assessment? Have you understood what is CBE and how to implement CBE in your own subject? So these are the learning outcomes, and if you think they have been met, then you have achieved, right? So this is the way, because in the beginning you share the learning outcomes so that even the learner knows this all I have to learn, and at the end of the session he can check for himself or herself that I have been able to achieve these, right? So thank you so much, and I want to thank Mr. Yogesh, who has been working tirelessly to organize these webinars, and today also he is there round the clock. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
And
Thank you so
especially
much.
the resource person. Thank you. Right.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
Now you
hope
fill up.
teachers, you
Now
have
you fill up
filled the
the
feedback
feedback
form.
And
Yeah.
it's my request, kindly send their LOs by Monday. I think we should restrict the time also. Otherwise, I'll be keep waiting for that. By Monday, all LOs should be there in my mail. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all, and I
Thank you,
hope you
sir.
all have filled the feedback forms.
Yes, that is very, important